here we're going to do an informational video about all the Robins who have teamed up with Batman.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Robin activity very recently in Death of the Family, and then Damian's death in Batman Incorporated.
So the first Robin we're going to look at is Dick Grayson, Nightwing.
Dick Grayson grew up in the traveling Halley's Circus. Along with his parents, he was in the act known as the Flying Graysons. After the manager of the circus refuses to pay off a local thug, the thug sabotages the rope in their act. Dick has to watch in horror as both of his parents fall to their death. Coincidentally, Bruce Wayne was at the show that night. Dick then goes on a rampage attempting to hunt down his parents' murderer. In doing so, he eventually crosses paths with Batman. Bruce sees a lot of himself in Dick. They both had to watch their parents die. He takes him in and trains him to be a crime fighter. When Batman deems him ready, Dick Grayson becomes Batman's first sidekick, Robin. Together, they clean up the streets of Gotham. As Batman's first Robin, he is arguably Bruce's most trusted ally outside of Alfred. He has since graduated from being Robin and now fights crime as Nightwing. If you want to read more about his current adventures, be sure to pick up Nightwing.
Dick Grayson eventually moved on and became Nightwing, but the next person to bear the mantle of Robin was Jason Todd.
Jason Todd's origins differed dramatically from Dick Grayson's. He grew up in an unhappy home. Not only did his parents fight, but his mother had a drug problem. His father was a criminal who more than once received a beating from Batman. After his father was finally locked up, it fell to Jason to care for and defend his mother. He himself turned to crime, stealing just to get by. Eventually, he was noticed by Batman. Impressed with his raw ability and street smarts, Batman offered him an opportunity. Together, they attempted to clean up the streets of Gotham. However, Jason went against Batman's wishes and flew across the globe after trying to track down his mother. Unfortunately, the trail was a trap set by the Joker. Batman was unable to reach him in time, and Jason died in an explosion. But although his story should have ended there, it didn't. Talia al Ghul recovered his body and used a Lazarus pit to revive him. However, the madness that sets in after the pit seemed to have pushed him over the edge. He now kills his enemies using guns and goes around as the Red Hood. Look for him in the series Red Hood and the Outlaws.
So the death of Jason Todd did make Batman wary of choosing a new Robin, but he could not resist Tim Drake.
Tim Drake is simply a prodigy. Gifted both athletically and intellectually, Tim was always destined for great things. He also had a very curious mind. Using detective skills and raw intellect, Tim did his best to piece together the true identity of Batman. Impressed, Batman left a trail for him to follow so they could meet face to face. Once there, Batman told him to give up his pursuit. Batman was obviously still wary of choosing a Robin after the death of Jason. However, the meeting only encourages Tim. In his investigation, he accidentally angers the Gotham mob. They send a hit squad after him and his family. Fortunately, Batman arrives in time to save them all, but Tim's parents are forced to go into witness protection, and he becomes the next Robin. However, he chooses to wear a slightly different costume out of respect to Jason's memory. More recently, Tim has moved on from being the Boy Wonder and has become Red Robin. You can find him in the pages of Teen Titans.
As we know, Tim Drake wanted to spread his wings and became the Red Robin, and that Robin vacancy was filled by Damian.
The story of Damian begins before he was even born. Longtime love interest of Batman, Talia al Ghul, stole some of Bruce's DNA. Combining it with her own, she created a child in a test tube. From birth, Talia raised her child Damian to be the strongest warrior ever, a future leader, a modern Alexander the Great. She envisioned him one day ruling the world. Talia's intense training left this child a merciless warrior who could best most adult superheroes. When he finally met his father, Damian was eventually convinced to leave his mother and join him. He became the next Robin. More recently, Damian became a casualty in the war between Batman and Talia. He was killed as Batman was once again too slow to save his boy wonder. The death of Damian has left his father heartbroken and wary of choosing another companion.
So with Damian's death, that marks the last of the Robins. So which one's your favorite?
I'm going to go with kind of the boring answer and to choose Nightwing, Dick Grayson. There's obviously massive benefits with being Bruce Wayne's, chosen successor. He's like the prince of the entire DC universe. He's done a lot of cool things. He was on the Teen Titans. He was on the Justice League. He's hooked up with some of the hottest people in the DC universe. Donna Troy, Starfire, Batgirl. He just has all the benefits of being Batman without that responsibility. And he's also a great guy, too. He really cares about Gotham, wants to make Halley's Circus a success, and wants to revitalize Gotham as well. But who's your favorite Robin?
My choice is, I guess, it might be kind of cheating. It's actually not from canon and from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. I absolutely loved Carrie Kelly, who later became Catgirl. She's absolutely full of personality. She carries around a slingshot and firecrackers. I mean, that's just awesome. And she completely epitomizes, I guess, 80s punk. In a way, I think Harper Row is reminiscent of her, which makes me excited the possibility that she could be the next Robin.
Wow, I can't believe you just said... Like, that is just the dumbest Robin to choose.
No, it's not. Dark Knight Returns was probably my personal favorite Batman story of all time.
So that's like 4 issues in the thousands of issues of Batman there have been?
And that's my favorite, yes.
So you're going to pick the girl who's Robin for, like, maybe 3 of those 4 issues.
The reasons you brought up for why Dick Grayson was amazing was because he slept with a bunch of girls,
that's
doesn't have responsibility.
Reasons, but I'm saying, at least he has, like, the resume.
He has the resume.
There's actually content about him.
Robin's not about the resume.
Based on 3 issues, you're going to say Carrie Kelly was the greatest Robin? Or your favorite Robin?
Yeah, my favorite Robin was from my favorite Batman story. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
So there was enough of her there to make you like her more than all the other Robins.
Yeah, there was. And
you're not a true Batman fan.
What? Dude, shut the fuck up. Your reasons are just because he's been there enough, you think he's better?
Yeah.
That's absurd. Just because someone has been around for so long.
Batman never counted on her to the same extent he counted on Nightwing.
Because she was basically introduced, and then in The Dark Knight Returns, the 2nd volume, when she's Catgirl, she has a lot of responsibility for...
Never to the same extent as Nightwing does now.
Because it's a completely different universe. And I don't think Robin's about responsibility. Robin's about being someone that is in training and how likable that character is, pretty much. Carrie Kelly completely epitomizes that.
What do you guys think? Who's your guys' favorite Robin? Is Carrie Kelly worthy of being called a good Robin?
Or are you going to be like this douchebag and just pick the easy choice?
Let us know in the comments. And thanks for watching.